The few surviving heroes who fought in the Battle of Britain have become even fewer in number. In August 2018, just 8 of the brave few who saved the country from the Nazi invasion in the Battle of Britain are still with us today. Many of the men were still teenagers or in their early 20s when they repelled Hitler's Luftwaffe over England. And nearly 3,000 brave aircrew served in the RAF Fighter Command between July the 10th and October the 31st in 1940. Pilot Officer Maurice Mounsdon is one of the final few surviving members of the Battle of Britain Fighter Association who remained a soldier on. It was 1987 when he returned to the Essex cornfields where his Hurricane crashed in 1940. CRHnews contacted the Battle of Britain London Monument on August 24, 2018 and were promptly updated about Maurice Mounsdon by Edward McManus of the Battle of Britain London Monument, where he said, "Thank you so much for getting in touch. Oddly, one of the updates I have lined up is for Maurice's webpage. We now know he was born in February 1918 and so is 100 this year. I attach a shot of his name on the monument. Please don't hesitate to ask if I can do more." Maurice Mounsdon joined the RAF on a short service commission on the 24th of August 1939 and began his elementary flying training at Barnston Hall in Derby. On the 20th of October, he went to Hastings and was commissioned on the 23rd. He was posted to Kinloss on the 2nd of November, later moving to Cranfield in April 1940. With his training completed, Mounsdon spent a few days at No. 1 Flying Practice Unit at Mere. He was due to join 56 Squadron, but was sent to 66 Squadron at Duxford on the 18th of May 1940. The mistake was corrected and he joined the 56 Squadron at Digby on the 3rd of June. Mounsdon shared in the destruction of a Dornier 17 on the 3rd of July and probably destroyed a Ju-87 on the 25th of July, probably an ME-110 on the 13th of August, and on the 13th of August destroyed an ME-110 and damaged another on the 18th. He damaged a Heinkel 111 on the 24th and destroyed an ME-109 on the 26th. Mounsdon was shot down in Hurricane IR-4197 by ME-109s over Colchester on the 31st of August. He was picked up by local villagers and a nurse cared for him until he was moved to Black Notley Hospital near Braintree, which at the time specialised in plastic surgery. He spent the next 9 months in various hospitals and became a guinea pig from a stay at Queen Victoria Hospital, East Grinstead. On the 4th of June 1941, Mounsdon returned to duty on the staff of HHQ North Weald, and afterwards he instructed at Cambridge from the 9th of June 1942 until the 18th of December 1943, and then at Booker until the 14th of August 1945, when he was posted to the Air Disarmament Wing in Germany. Mounsdon was released from the RAF on the 22nd of February 1946 as a flight lieutenant. 4 of Pilot Officer Mounsdon's aerial encounters, including his last sortie, were recorded in 2 excellent war volumes published by the Battle of Britain Prince International of Plaistow. On Monday the 29th of July 1940, he was attacked flying Hurricane P3612 over Dover Harbour at 7:45. He was able to return to base unhurt and his aircraft was repaired. Pilot Officer Mounsdon shot down a Luftwaffe fighter on Sunday, August the 18th, and then sent another ME-109 down, this time in flames, into the sea at Whitstable a week later. Then followed his bailout over mid-Essex on Saturday the 31st of August, which is the subject of the diary article today. These incidents can be found in The Battle of Britain Then and Now and in the first volume of The Blitz Then and Now, both edited by Winston Ramsey, as the most comprehensive coverage given to this troubled period. Now a youth of 65, the ex-RAF flying officer paid a nostalgic return to the village which he last saw on the morning of Saturday, August 31st, 1940. He saw the exact spot where his North Weald fighter, number R4197, pancaked into a field, and the path his parachute took some way away, bringing him safely to earth. It was a moving moment as the quietly spoken and self-effacing fighter hero was shown the reality of the fields and trees, which were blurred by the drama of his descent and the intervening years. Early arrangements for Maurice's return were made by Lieutenant Rayner, RN, who unfortunately could not be present. And so it was that the welcoming group of village worthies was led by the local historian Derek Bircher, who as a lad of 15 saw the parachute descend silently at 9 a.m. that morning whilst doing his gardening job. Another eyewitness was Martin Hill, whose late father's car was commandeered by head ARP warden Charlie Wright and Arthur Day, both sadly deceased, to hunt for the pilot. Discovering the airman was English and very badly burned, they rushed him to Dr. Barber's surgery at Great Dumbo, from where he was taken by ambulance to Backnopley Hospital, said Derrick. He has since recorded the event thus: between 8:30am and 9am the noise of battle seemed greater than usual, and the villagers at High Easter looked up to see a lot of aircraft wheeling about at a great height. Suddenly from one of them there shot across 2 balls of smoke, and this seemed to hit another. For a moment nothing seemed to happen to this fighter, and then suddenly fire began to burn and smoke trailed from it. Slowly it seemed to turn on its side and a speck fell out from it. A parachute blossomed and the aircraft went round, falling earthwards in 2 long circles. Perhaps due to an electrical short, its machine guns fired a short burst. Luckily, the residents of Bellhouse Villas were nearly all taking shelter, since bullets sprayed their homes, smashing tiles on several roofs and killing a cat belonging to Mrs. Nellie Mead. Meanwhile, the pilot was drifting down and heading in an easterly direction towards Statement Cross. A lot of villagers, arming themselves with pitchforks, trailed off in his direction, thinking he must be a Hun. Shouting in a ditch at Shimwood's Field were Jack Warder, Fred Attridge and Len Joyce, farm workers. Suddenly they heard a thump and a noise like a lot of tin cans being banged together. Slowly they peered over the top of the ditch to see a cloud of dust, and ahead of it an aeroplane which had ground to a halt a few yards further from them. They noted that it was an English fighter, a Hurricane. Later the army sent out guards to look after the plane until it could be collected, which was done in 2 or 3 days. The Hurricane was probably cannibalised and scrapped. The sole surviving known part of it, a pristine landing lamp, was recently donated to the Kent Battle of Britain Museum by Martin Hill. Morris, now living in sunny Spanish retirement, spoke softly and thoughtfully during his recent visit. "I was on fire. There was only one thing to do, and that was to get out as fast as possible," he says. His Hawker Hurricane had been hit in the gravity fuel tank just behind the dashboard by a German cannon shell. It exploded and blew petrol into the cockpit, which instantly caught fire, says Lichfield-born Mr. Mounsdon, now 97. As a 22-year-old pilot officer serving with 56 Squadron out of North Weald, he flew his last mission on the 31st of August 1940. Morris had never used a parachute before he was shot down.